Morning, Mr. Morin.
Hello.
How did you start your morning the day of 9/11?
I was, it was my first year at college, and so my alarm went off at like 6:30 or 7 o'clock that morning, and I rolled over and I hit the snooze button and I went back to sleep.
How old were you when it happened?
I guess I would have been 18 at the time.
Were any family members of yours in New York City at the time?
No, but my father and my brothers and sisters, we lived in Hoboken, which was right across the river from New York, and one of the windows in our apartment actually faced the towers, like our back bedroom.
Did you go to college that day?
I was at college, so I was at Rutgers. I was dorming, and like I said, my alarm went off, and I hit the snooze button, and then about a half hour later, the alarm went off again, and this time my roommate hit the snooze button. But right before he did, I remember hearing something about an attack, but like I was kind of in that still dreaming, whatever state. So I just thought it was some thing on the radio that they were joking about, and we went back to sleep.
When did you find out that the World Trade Center was under attack?
So I don't know the exact amount of time that passed, maybe a half hour or so. Another alarm went off. You can see a running thing here, but another alarm went off, and this time it was the radio was set on the radio, so the radio came on, and we can hear them talking about, we heard something about an attack and the World Trade Center was hit. So we both started we got up, and at this point it had to have been probably sometime around 9. So we got up and I asked him if he heard the same thing I did, and he's like, yeah, I think so. So we both got out of the room, and we were dorming. So we got out of our room, and there was a community room with TVs. So we went there, and to this day, I still remember it. I opened the door and walked in, and he followed me, and probably 90% of the people in the dorm were sitting in the room in front of the TVs, and they all turned, looked at me, turned back to the TV. So we knew something serious must have happened. We walked over, and that's when we saw that the buildings were on fire, and they were talking about planes hitting them. And it was it was before the first tower fell. So it was sometime, before that happened.
Okay. When did you know it was a terrorist attack?
I would say right at that point, because the way that the people in the news were talking, they made it sound like it was terrorist or something happened. It wasn't just an accident because, like I said, at that point, both buildings were on fire. So we were pretty sure something was happening.
Where did you go after this happened?
So I was dorming, and I guess I should have said this earlier, I was dorming at Rutgers in New Brunswick. And so about 5 minutes, I was watching TV for about five or so minutes. I went to get my phone to call my house because, like I said, my dad at the time was living right across the river from there, and I didn't know what was happening. And I was getting all circuits busy on the cell phone. Couldn't make a phone call. I didn't drive. I was pretty sure that they weren't going to let us go up. They had already canceled classes for the day. So it took probably an hour or two before I was able to eventually get through and find out everybody was okay. But that day we just stayed there, and most of the day I can just remember it was kind of just like watching a TV, talking to other kids, and just trying to process everything that was happening.
How long did it take you to comprehend what was happening?
I mean, I would probably say I don't know. I mean, when I started watching TV, saw it within those first 5 minutes or so, I would say maybe 10 minutes. I was pretty sure, maybe even sooner, probably within 2 minutes, like I said, because I realized what was happening after both planes had already hit the buildings. So I kind of understood what was going on, but just from watching it, hearing it, seeing the one building fall on TV, and then I can just remember hours later, I think it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, after the two towers were down, there was a third building that fell, I think the one that had the emergency management thing in it. So, I kind of knew it was pretty bad.
Thank you, Mr. Morin, for taking your time off your day to do this interview with me.
No problem.